Hey guys, welcome back to We Watched Movie. I am Mike, and today we're talking about Terrifier 3. The teaser trailer just came online. We got a bunch of people on the internet very upset. On one hand, people saying boycott this movie because they're making it seem like Art the Clown is going to be murdering tiny, cute kids, and don't go see it because that's disgusting and it's depraved. And then on the other side, it's unleashed a bunch of people being like, that's what horror movies are. What are you even talking about? He killed kids in All Hallows Eve in his first appearance. He killed teenagers in Terrifier 2. We're going to talk about all of that. And by the way, if you want to talk about this with us, we're going to be talking about it tonight live at 8 p.m. Eastern, as well as everything else, movie news and all that stuff. Make sure you have the subscribe button clicked so that it notifies you when we do those, because only 40% of you are actually subscribed. In the trailer that came out today on the internet, I'll put a link to it down below. It's pretty simple stuff. You see a little cute girl wake up and it's Christmas and she walks downstairs, and it's a lot like reminds me of Christmas Evil a lot. If you guys remember Christmas Evil, in that movie, the kid walks downstairs and Santa's just going down on his mom, and it's just like this surreal, just strange, like, why is Santa's tongue in that? Why is that? I don't like it, and I move to strike. But it's just a strange feeling inside of everything. She walks downstairs, there's a guy dressed as Santa going through presents, and she says Santa, and Art the Clown's head picks up, making that dumbass, like, hilarious dog face that he makes, and he pulls up an axe, and then it goes to the Terrifier 3, and we've got the wreath with the honk honk on it. It pans to him sitting in a chair covered in blood, or assuming that he's brutally murdered the girl and everybody else in the house, eating the milk and the cookies and laughing and smiling. Let's say it does happen, right? So these people who are very upset with this one account in particular that's making the rounds, which you know how it goes, like the ragier people are, the more their voice gets put out there, because if you just say something, the more ridiculous something that you say on the internet is, the more it like goes crazy. But he's saying, hey, fuck this movie. If they're gonna have tiny children brutally murdered in this, I'm not seeing it. This is beyond fucked up. You've gone too far now. You've flown too close to the sun, and I'm not gonna put up with it anymore. And the way I sit on it, do I want to go to the movie and see that scene happen? My personal answer is no. Well, I've seen kids murdered in horror movies before a thousand times. This is, kids in horror is just like a regular thing, right? I get, though, that it is different because we're taking it in our mind's eye and we're picturing what Art the Clown has done to other people before, including teenagers, which it is different when it's teenagers versus, you know, little kids. It just is. So we have to be honest about that, but like, they're putting in their mind's eye what he does to those victims onto this kid. And you know what that makes it? It makes it a great fucking teaser, because you're scared, because you're thinking about it. Oh my God, if he gets a hold of her, I know what they're going to do. And it's actually very smart, because they did the Game of Thrones thing. Like, Game of Thrones at the end of the first season kills off like the main fucking character, puts his head on a fucking pike, man. And we're all going, oh my God, I hate you for that. But you know what it did? It made every season of Game of Thrones after that, except for maybe that last one, all that much better, because you're like, they'll do anything. This show will do fucking anything. And Terrifier 2 has done that by showing us the grotesque things, the fucked up things that they've done before. Now bringing this little girl into the equation, everybody just assumes. Like, we're not even going, oh my God, I hope they don't. Everyone's just assuming that that little girl's gonna get brutally murdered. So I think the smartest thing would be for the studio or nobody to say anything, for them to act like, yeah. And then for the entirety of the movie, have Art the Clown like coming so close to just absolutely dismembering the living shit out of this person and not having it happen, having her survive in the end. I think that would be really fun, because it would add all the suspense. We all think it's going to happen. We're waiting for it to happen. We're doing this. And yeah, you still want the violence and all the stuff that Art does throughout the rest of the movie. Everybody that gets in the way to try to save this cute little kid gets brutally and heinously murdered. And you always think he comes this close. When Michael Myers is chasing Jamie Lloyd in Halloween 4 and 5, none of us actually thought he was going to get a hold of her. There's some close calls, you know, with the driving that car around, or you know, doing the knife in the chute, although it was the dream sequence. There's some close calls, but like, imagine this is different, because you're watching Art the Clown, and if he gets a hold of her, we know it's going to happen. We know exactly what's going to happen. So I think it just adds to the tension a lot. I think it adds to everyone's fear. I think it's a great thing that they're doing this. And if they do decide to do it, if I'm wrong here, and the opening scene is just 25 minutes of him brutally doing heinous and awful things to her, then it is, because horror is horror, and that's something that they do. Do I personally want to see it? Nah, I don't. I've seen enough of it. I'm kind of bored with seeing kids go through heinous things in horror. I'm not saying that they shouldn't ever do it. I'm not saying it offends me. I'm just like, I feel like we've seen it done so many times before. I'd prefer my horror to be focused on adults. That's just where I'm at personally. I'm not going to boycott the movie. Art is art, and if someone wants to if someone wants to take something and they want to go that far and they want to press that pedal to the floor to see what happens, then I'm not going to tell anybody else not to watch it. You know what I'm saying? If I'm at the theater and that scene happens and it's grotesque and it makes me feel weird, I will look away, or I'll do what Jay does and do this when scary things come on in the theater. But like, I'm not going to stand up and demand everybody else in the theater leave. You don't have to do things to appease where my tastes go. You do your fucking thing and then I'll decide. You guys might poo-poo this idea, but look at all this crazy wild shit Terrifier 2 got away with. This franchise is crazy enough to get away with this idea. What if, preface to this scene in the trailer, he actually encounters Santa Claus, like the legit fucking Santa Claus, and all that blood and shit on him is because he runs into Santa Claus coming to her house at the same time, and Santa Claus is the one who gets brutally and horrifically murdered to bits. That's a fucking awesome scene. That's a Christmas fucking movie. And that's something we've never seen before that I can think of. I mean, we've seen people pretend to be Santa Claus, but what if he takes this majestical fucking Santa Claus character and the whole opening of the movie is him brutally fucking murdering him and torturing and killing Santa Claus of all people? That is depraved, but it's also not kids. So like, I'm having way more fun with that idea. Personally, that's where I hope the movie goes, and I hope that like he actually does have his face and shit, and that's where the blood and the cookies situation comes from, and that's what kicks off the whole movie. That's what I would like to see. But what do you guys think about that? What do you guys think about the whole kid thing? Where do you stand on it? And again, like I'm wearing a t-shirt right now of a movie where they had a little girl stab herself in the vagina with a crucifix while screaming, "Fuck me, Jesus!" And I just, wow. We did that in horror, and that's kind of what horror does from time to time. They smack you in the face and go, "Take it, bitch!" And we have to take it, bitch. And sometimes it ends up being the best horror of all time. Sometimes it ends up being Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, and shit that we should be ashamed of. You gotta let them cook, though. That's where I stand. How do you guys feel about it? I love your fucking faces. We'll see you guys tonight. I hope you guys have a great day.
Here comes that white-faced fucker, an asshole like no other. He's a big old piece of shit. Wants to stab your sister's tits cause he's a white-faced fucker. Loomis can't recover. Dr. Challenge drunk again, sleeping with your sister's friends.
Do you want to know about the darkness?
I said, goddamn.
Goddamn you faggot!
Halloween never ends, suck my fucking dick, and I don't really care what Blumhouse fucking says. Put him in a box, or suck a fucking cock. You can say he's dead, but we all know he's not, yeah. So let's go trick-or-treating, let's go fucking drinking, let's all go rent Pumpkinhead on VHS.